Right. So how do you push through difficult conversations? Because obviously we've talked a lot about some successes and habits and things we do, but certainly as leaders, there are difficult conversations that you have to have. And what do you do to get yourself, kind of mentally prepared for those? And then do you have any philosophies when it comes to the difficult conversation?
Absolutely. And I think for me, I think it comes is is clarifying a few things as I'm kind of preparing for a different conversation is what is my intent? Where is this coming from? Is this to improve? Is this to deflect? I find, again, I like to say I'm perfect and I'm not, is oftentimes, is this a chance for me to kind of deflect tension away from perhaps, something that I'm not doing correctly. But for me is understand the intent, because I do feel like once that's clear, I think the individual receiving whether it's feedback or that conversation understands that my intent is pure, and it's clarified. I think, for me, it's as I'm preparing for a difficult conversation is making sure that the receiver is prepared for it too. I think I'm an advocate for asking, hey, is this a good time? Would like to share some feedback with you. It's me not asking permission necessarily to give feedback. I think ultimately I'm going to give it to you.
Right.
But I do think giving that person to say, hey, this is a good time for me, or this is not, I think is incredibly important. And then I think finding the right words, to make sure I articulate it in a way that allows them the chance to hold themselves accountable, and then to kind of tangibly make changes. So they feel like they're given an opportunity to make change. And again, I think there requires some prep work. It seems very simple as I say it out loud, but the ability with which to kind of have that dialogue and use the right words is big. And then what I find myself doing, and this is where I really have to prep myself, and I don't know if others fall into this trap, is I have a trap of, I'd like to make jokes or liven up the situation, provide levity, or talk too much. And so a big thing for me is planning out kind of planned silence, to give them a chance to reflect and give them a chance to reply back. I find myself trying to kind of dissipate the awkwardness of a difficult conversation. Sure. So as weird as it sounds, as I prepare for that is making sure I remind myself the importance of that silence.
Yeah.
So
listening is key.
Yeah. And giving them time to talk. Again, I think it's one of those things where I think we're very apt to not take that right pause, because pause is uncomfortable. And especially for somebody who just said, give you some feedback, what I witnessed in this last meeting, great. Let them think it through. They're processing. And so for me, I think giving that time is incredibly important. And I think kind of the last thing too is what actions am I seeking? Because I think sometimes I fall back into the trap of all of a sudden now I've got the monkey on my back to help solve this issue, and it's not necessarily mine to solve. So kind of providing an accountability path is big.